Hey, hello, how are you guys? Hello, Ale. Hey, Luke, what's up? Hi, Victor. Hello, Prasu. How are you today, guys? Hope you had a nice trading day. All right, okay. So let's get started. Let's get started today. So this morning we had news on the pre-market. So this morning we had a market drop early in the morning. Let me show you here. So we had a market drop early in the morning. We went from this 553 key level on the 15-minute chart. That was kind of the key level yesterday before the afternoon pump. That was the kind of the key level. And this morning we had news. So we had news market the whole market drop. And well, we were expecting some sort of continuation. We had some continuation to key levels. Can you see? It was actually all the way down to key levels. Uh, it was actually here, maybe. Yeah. So respect the key levels. And for some reason, well, not for some reason, that's something that I like. And I'm not gonna talk about politics or tariffs or any other thing, but can you see that by now the market as a whole has digested the tariffs thing? So now every once in a while we have a new tariff headline, and yes, the market reacts something, but it's a way better reaction, or it's a way stronger reaction when we actually have good news. So or I don't know, like, not good news, but not bad news, right? Like uh, anything from so news to good news, we have stronger reactions than any reaction to tariffs now. So it's just for you, so you can actually see that the market, it's on good shape, it's healthy. So we just need politicians to stay away of it. All right, so let's get started. So okay, so we were looking to Apple. Actually, Apple, for me, in my opinion, we didn't have any like good opportunity here. We had this. Actually, Apple was kind of the opposite than the whole market. We actually had this bounce from this 207 16 key level. That's a key level on the daily chart, and this is actually a strong key level because it has been touched several times over the past weeks and months. So this 207 was a strong resistance here. We bounced here, and we actually had a nice the nicest bounce on the market, right? uh, what's the thing? Well, I'm sorry, Apple and Amazon have earnings tomorrow, and Microsoft and Meta have earnings today. So no one wants to touch Apple today, right? But anyways, so we had this bounce on the pre-market, then we have this drop. We had this drop. Uh, Again, all to key levels. We were respecting key levels. This is the 1 minute. This is the 1 minute chart. So I mean, uh, this can this can be seen like that extreme or a hard drop, but I mean, we were respecting key levels. So these key levels are these blue lines are key levels on the daily chart. So can you see I mean, this is not magic, guys. This is where liquidity is it's sitting. So that's why it. I mean, when you have different time frames in your charts, you will see how many touches we have to these different key levels. So, well, I like to take trades on the same direction than the indices. And also I like to take trades out of the ranges. So I'm not gonna take a long position from a bounce from the previous day low, but I will take a position on a bounce from the 5-minute opening range high, right? So that's kind of the entry criteria here. So as you can see, I didn't see any good opportunity here for Apple, but this one. So here we were trying to reclaim this 207.46. This 207.46. If you start looking at the indices, what we were doing. So we were actually going through the change of character, and also we were reclaiming these key levels, right? So this 543 on SPY and this 465 on QQQ was actually the exact time, the reclaim of those levels was exactly when this started, going to the upside. So I wouldn't say that this is a break and retest of this key level, because we are having, there's no enough displacement. And on hindsight, everything is super easy, right? But if you were probably looking to enter a position here on this break of this consolidation, yes, but there, in my opinion, there's no good entry criteria for a break and retest. So then we have all this strong momentum to the upside, but we didn't reclaim and retest any key level for me. So even when we broke high of the day, we had this flag, and we almost retested this previous week high and 5-minute opening range and 15-minute chart key level, but not even here we had a clean and nice retest here. So in my opinion, there was no entry opportunities for Apple. Anyone took something in Apple today, guys? Hey, Gabo, hi, Carlita, Patrick, Lisa, Sven, and Monette. How are you? So anyone took an Apple trade? Hasser, what about 1013 candle price action? 1013, 1013, 1013. Okay, 1013. Well, again, I wouldn't consider that as a break and retest. Yes, I like it. If you are trading breakouts, I think this is a good opportunity, right? Yeah, you were looking at this consolidation. This was kind of the top of the range, and this was the low of the range. So as a breakout trader, yes, this was a nice opportunity to enter. But as a break and retest trader, I don't see, even here, we had this displacement and immediate retest here. But if you are looking at the context on both indices, we were kind of consolidating right here, right? Like here, oh, I'm sorry. Like here and here. This is the consolidation area right at this breakout. So I don't know. I don't know, Hasib. I don't see. I don't see an entry here, at least on the break and retest. If you are a breakout trader, yes, this is a nice trade. Hey, Juice, Prasu, if we draw an order block using one candle rule in the first 5 minutes, can we drag it? And is it still valid for retest on the whole day? Yes, it's still valid. Hasib, using the one candle rule makes perfect sense. Okay, all right. So let's go to the next one, guys. AMD. So what happened with AMD? Actually, AMD was having a strong open, but then it dropped, right? So let me tell you, because I draw this order block here because we had this strong movement to the upside, and then we had this down close candle. So you can draw it like here the whole week. I'm sorry, the whole candle, or just the upper week and the body. Anyways, it's something like this, right? So we have this movement to the downside right with the indices, and once the indices started bouncing, like, can you see here, AMD is very related to QQQ, right? I mean, that's something that you need to start figuring out. I mean, what is your favorite name doing, right? If it's following more closely to QQQ, or if it's following more closely to SPY, because some other names, for example, you will see, but Amazon moves more closely to SPY than to QQQ, even when it's considered Max 7 and a tech name. I think it's because its nature of a consumer related name. So Amazon moves closer to SPY than to QQQ, but AMD, it's tech related completely. So can you see here? I mean, we are looking at the bounce, right at the bounce on QQQ. So once we bounce here, can you see that actually AMD was stronger than the indexes, right? It was bouncing stronger than the indices. So yeah, go there, Gabriel. So when we broke this order block that was actually high of the day, so we had this break, this placement and retest of this order block. What was happening? What was happening on QQQ? Well, it was bouncing out of the 1 minute opening range, or this pre-market low. Okay, this blue dotted line, it's the pre-market low. So again, I don't like to trade from the bottom of the ranges to the upside, or from the top of the ranges to the downside. However, I was looking to the indices. The indices were showing bullish price action. It already had a change of character. It was nicely uptrending. And what was happening to AMD? AMD already broke the top of the range, and it was retesting this order block. So in my opinion, this AMD trade was valid. And if you were entering into your position right here at the edge of the 5 minute opening range, and you had your risk, you can have your risk in two ways, right? So the first one is right at the bottom of these previous candles, but I think a better position for your stop loss will be the bottom of this order block. So if you have this risk and you were aiming to this 94.27, that's a key level on the daily chart. This was a 1-to-2 risk reward ratio trade. So just this was that's a nice trade. But look at the price action. I mean, you had some mini baby reaction here, and what was happening on the indices? Nothing. We were going straight up. So you should not cut any of your position here. Maybe, trimming something to have realized profit, but I mean, at least you should be like to this 94.50 for your first trims. And if you got this was a 1-to-2.9 risk reward ratio trade, and that's not it. I mean, that's not it, because once you have this one, I mean, if you were paying close attention to price action here, this pullback is not even retesting the previous high, right? It's not even retesting the previous high. So you should be staying on this trade, because also indices were holding the key levels, like the 5 minute opening range on QQQ, and this pre-market low and 1 minute opening range low on SPY. So you should be able to manage to hold this position here. So if you miss this first jump, well, we had this, right? I mean, we had this break, this placement and retest of this 94.27 key level on the daily chart. And what was happening? What was happening on the indices? Well, SPY was retesting the 1 minute opening range and also the pre-market low, and QQQ was actually retesting the previous high of the day. Previous high of the day, that's a 5 minute opening range, that's the daily gap, the edge of the daily gap. So this was a super nice second opportunity to enter into an AMD trade. So just for you to know, so if you were aiming to this 95 key level on the 15-minute chart, that was a super nice trade of 1 to 4.2 risk reward ratio trade. However, I think the most the best target will be this previous day low, and this previous day low after this consolidation here, as you can see, it was just flagging around this key level. So what was happening on the indices? Let me show you. So during this consolidation here, indices were pushing up. Indices were pushing up. So I will be holding my rest of my position here. And once we broke this consolidation, oh, sorry about that. Oh, what happened? I'm sorry, guys. Once we broke this consolidation here, look how well this went. This wasn't. Was this the first entry? Yeah, this was the first entry. So look how well this worked. And actually, I mean, again, if you manage to trim your position here and held some of your contracts for a change of character or to invalidate your trade, you were actually able to stay on this trade. This went all the way up to this pre-market high, and this was a 1 to 8 point something risk reward ratio trade. And I'm not gonna lie, I wouldn't stay all this time here, but look at this. It's going to 96.90. So probably it's gonna hit 97.18, the previous day high. And look at this. What's going on? What's going on in the market? Again, if you don't give bad news to the market and you don't provide any good news, just don't give bad news, the market is gonna ramp up like this. Market is super healthy. We are just waiting for politicians not to mess up. Right. So let me go to the chat. Prasu, Neto, how did you identify the order block? Can you please draw 2 or more order blocks for clear understanding? Well, on an uptrend, the down close candle, it's the order block. For example, here you have an uptrend, and this is the down close candle. So this is your order block. Can you see here how well it managed to keep this order block? Again, well, probably, I don't know, like probably this one. Yes. Can you see you are going in an uptrend, the down close candle, it's going to be your order block. So for example, here you can see all this consolidation around this order block because this was the previous day high. I'm sorry, the previous high of the day. Yeah, no, it's different, right? This was the previous high of the day. So this created an order block, and look all the volume here. So this was an important key level. So this is 95. That was a super important key level, right? Hasif, I had an entry at 1024 on AMD. Used the previous down close candle as a one candle rule and had some confirmations from some bullish candles. So 1024, this one. Well, I think you can label this trade, Hasif, as a breakout trade. I mean, maybe if you took your trade like here on the bounce or the rejection of this order block, yes, this was a break, displacement and retest. But if you are taking your trade here, 1024, this candle, you are actually at high of the day. So this is a breakout trade. It's a different playbook. It's okay. I mean, it's great, and I'm glad that it worked for you. It's just different than the break and retest. Hasif, I closed my position 1144. That was dope. That was dope. Congratulations on that trade. If there are multiple down close candles, then which candle to mark for order block? That's a nice question, Dipti. If you are on the Discord, please on the questions channel, please send me this question and tag me. I'm gonna share with you another video we have for order blocks. It's gonna be easier for you to understand. But usually it's kind of, like, I mean, yes, if we have one or two candles, like for example here, this is an uptrend, and there are a few candles here. I mean, technically, this could be a whole order block, because if we go to the 5-minute, it's the whole down closing candle, right? So remember, price is fractal. So you need to play a little bit with the time frames. But just if you go to the Discord, just ask me there for these order blocks videos. Probably it's gonna be easier for me to just share that, and I will share on there. Okay, Ale, Neto, what do you think of 1008 entry on AMD? 1008. Well, again, I don't like to take long positions from the no, this is nice. 1008, yeah, this is the top of the 1-minute opening range, right? Yeah. Okay, well, it's nice. I mean, for me, this is kind of an immediate retest, but let's see where the index is doing. 1008. All right. 1008. Well, they were actually breaking out from the order block there, and they were kind of changing of character. I like to have a better direction from the indices, Ale. But yes, I mean, this work because again, you are taking a trade from the top of the range, the 1-minute opening range. We had this break, displacement, and retest. For me, it's a small displacement, and also it's kind of an immediate retest. But if you can look at the indices, they were actually breaking out. So that was a nice context for you. I would like to have a better context, but this is good context anyways. Patrick, AMD, would you consider 1019? 1019. 84% rule. Why 84% rule? This is actually a nice break, displacement, and retest of this order block, Patrick. So we never had a first opportunity for this level, so this is not an 84% rule. It's a different 5 minute opening rate. Hmm. But what do you mean? What's the no? This is not the 84% rule. It's just a break and retest of this order block with the confluence that is breaking the 5 minute opening range, right? Okay. Hasib, I understand. I thought I'm getting in on a retest of the 5 minute. Okay. Was I wrong to consider? Yes, it's not a break and retest. That's more like a breakout. Uh, Hi Neto, would you not take a long position of the previous day low? Well, I wouldn't like to do it unless the right context, right? Like if the indices were on the top of the range, that would be great. But I usually, guys, not sure if you remember, but Jack has been showing on the weekly recaps on Saturdays how to create a narrative for your trades. So if on the higher time frame, in the higher time frame, your name or I mean your ticker, it's downtrending. I mean, it's gonna be super hard for you to take a long position, especially if you want to do it from the bottom of the ranges. So the previous day low, it's gonna be it's gonna be the bottom of the range, unless on the pre-market you was that name was consolidating around it, and then you will be considering the top of the range if you create like a 5 minute opening range or a 15 minute opening range, and then you have like a nice bounce out of those ranges. But just just a reclaim of the previous day low and took this as a key level for long positions. It's just me. I don't like it. It's not on my playbook. Not sure if it works. I never back tested that, but I mean, you can always try. Okay, so let's go to the next one. Amazon. I took this trade this morning. Amazon was very very weak, very weak on the pre-market. Can you see this thing, guys? Do you remember I told you that usually Amazon looks more like SPY than QQQ? I mean, here you can kind of notice. But go to your charts and set back to back the both names. You will see that Amazon usually, and this is not a 100% of the times rule, but usually looks more like SPY than QQQ. So okay, so this morning we broke the range to the downside. So we had this break, displacement, and retest of the 1 minute opening range, and this order block here. And I like, let me tell you what I like. Okay, well, I like that SPY was failing to reclaim this 543.69 key level on the daily chart. So I opened a position here. I had my risk at the top of this candle that was the one that broke the level, and I was aiming to 1 to 2 risk reward ratio trade. That was actually this 179. That So 179, just because it, well, two things, right? It was the round number, so it's a round number, side number, and also it was a 1 to 2 risk reward ratio trade right there. So even actually, if I had this stop loss to the top of the order block, this actually made it a 1 to 2.5 risk reward ratio trade. So I took my position right here when we were weak under the 5 minute opening range. and I managed to stay on this trade because of my stop loss was fair enough place. And then we drop on SPY and QQQ. So on this drop, I took my first partials on this candle when we broke low of the day. And then I took majority of my position here when we hit the 179. And because it was moving too fast, I actually wasn't able to take the most of it. I had a market order, but when I say I wasn't able to get the most of it, it went like to 25% on profit here. But when I actually hit the market order sell, it was like 18 or 17. I mean, it's still a good trade, but not. I didn't squeeze it everything from it, right? And I actually I took more of my position here on this candle, and the reason I took some of my position here was because I was being flexible and adapting to what the indices were doing. Can you see, guys, that they were trying to have their change of character? So once they reclaim that order block or that consolidation area, I just cut some of my position here, and I was stop out right here on this candle when I broke my stop loss level. But so this was a small, this was a very small win, but yeah, I mean, it the reason it came back was because it was following the indices. So after this, Amazon tried, and the other thing, my reasoning for this trade was because this yellow block, it's a gap on the daily chart. This is a gap on the daily chart. I was on the idea, because all of the weakness on the pre-market, that we may fill this gap all the way down to 176.80. But it didn't happen. It didn't happen. Just came to here, 178.85. But that was the reasoning behind that trade. That way also I was kind of aggressive here on this entry, because I was thinking that probably this will be a gap fill, but it didn't went through. Uh, okay, Amazon trade, and which candle I enter here? 9:45. 9:45 was the retest of the 1 minute opening range. Yes. All right. And later on the day, again, I don't like to take trades from the bottom of the range. I mean, long position from the bottom of the range. But can you see here, guys? I mean, if you were looking for long positions after the strong recovery here, can you see what was going on? Maybe QQQ, no. Oh, sorry about that. Maybe not QQQ, but SPY. So SPY right here on this break, displacement, and retest of the bottom of the 1 minute and 5 minute opening range, what was happening on SPY? Exactly the same. The break, displacement, and nice retest of the 1 minute and the 5 minute opening range. So if you wanted to play a reversal, this is the one, this is the play, right? So you are actually reclaiming the bottom of the ranges, and you are just following the momentum on the indices, right? So can you see here, guys? I mean, I'm gonna draw it. I wouldn't take it, that's for sure. I wouldn't take it. But if you were looking to something like this, maybe your stop loss was at the edge of the daily gap, and you will be looking, let's say, not high of the day, that you actually got it, but maybe this candle here, that's kind of the pivot high or the local high. So this was a 1 to 3.3 risk reward ratio trade. But if you were looking for the daily gap or the opening price, this actually gave it, right? This actually gave it to you. Yeah, like maybe here, or this 182 key level on the 15-minute chart. So this was a 1 to 4 point something risk reward ratio trade. Again, I wouldn't take it again because I don't like to take long positions bouncing from the bottom of the ranges, or short positions rejecting the top of the ranges. But on context, this was a nice trade just because we reclaimed this level. We had decent displacement, good retest, and on context, the SPY was actually doing the exact same thing, bouncing from the same key level. So this could be a nice trade. All right. So let's go to the next one. The next one was NVIDIA. This was my second trade today. Yeah, this was my second trade today. So we were ranging on inside the 5-minute opening range here. So Nvidia was actually holding nicely, or holding stronger than most of the names, because it had its drop on the pre-market. So once the market was open, it was actually holding the opening price. It was actually holding the pre-market low. So once market opened and indices started to recover, we had two different plays here. So the first one was this break, displacement, and retest of 105.73. That's a key level on the daily chart. And what was happening? What was happening on the indices? We were reclaiming displacement and retest of key levels on the daily chart. So I took this trade right here around 105.80. My risk was at the bottom of these candles, maybe something like this, and I was looking to 2.5 risk reward ratio trade, something like this. I actually got it. So I got some of my trade here, and then I was able to manage and to stay on this trade. And let me tell you when I was out. I was out here on these candles. Why? Not because we were not respecting the market structure, but because on context, let me show you. I think I got out like on this candle, something like this, and I hate it because 2 or 3 candles later just bounced and actually went all the way to my target. But all this consolidation, look what the indices were doing. They were pushing higher so hard, and we were just lagging here. And when we had these few candles to the downside, actually the indices were dropping. So I really thought that this will be the end of the momentum. So I closed my trade around here. But what do you know? So they bounce out of the previous day low. That's another thing. I mean, I never thought that they will bounce on the previous day low. So they reacted to previous day low. They actually went higher, and they took Nvidia higher with them. So I took a small win here. But I want you to see reactions. So can you see here? It's actually a nice third opportunity here. Why? Because we were reacting to key levels. So even, well, this is not the same key level, but what if we start drawing order blocks from the down closing candles on the uptrend. So they were retesting this order block nicely and going higher, going higher. So continuation here. And as if, I'm sorry, Alex, Neto, do you read price action during a trade to cut it, or do you just take your cons as stop loss and target? No, I actually, I speak a lot, Alex, about adaptability and flexibility. So I'm not a guy that, I mean, once in profit, I let my runners go all the way down to my stop loss. If I'm looking at the price action and I'm watching the momentum is gone, there's a change of character, the indices are actually reversing, I just follow up closely on price action. And if I see something like I did today here, I just close my trade. I just close my trade. And this was my mistake because we were actually bouncing on key levels here and here. But I mean, I'm just being transparent with you. This was already in profit. I was only in runners, so I closed my trade here. Um, Hasif, I actually took a FOMO entry on Nvidia on the 1144, 1144, 1144 on Nvidia, maybe 1044. Yeah, maybe it was 1044. Yeah, 1044. Yeah, I mean it. Well, no, not. Can, okay, 1010, 1010, 1010. Yes. Well, again, this is kind of a breakout entry, Hasib. This is a breakout entry. What I would expected here for having a nice break and retest uh, entry will be something like yeah, a better displacement, right? Like the break here, maybe candles more separated than here, then the reaction here as it did, and then the continuation. But I would like to have, oh, sorry, I would like to have more of a displacement. Can you see here? There's no displacement at all. Everything is testing this 5 minute opening range. So yeah, there was no displacement here. Uh, Chris, how would you manage your trades? How would you manage your trades with one contract? I'm struggling at the moment a bit because my win rate is 50%, but I'm only trading one contract. So, well, I would like to, if I'm just trading one contract, I will just cut my trades on my first profit target. And if I'm in profit, I will try to move my stop loss. I mean, because if you are only trading one contract, I will be way more aggressive to compound, not looking for higher risk reward. I will be trying to be more aggressive on the compounding thing. I've been breaking even because I miss out on the larger moves. Yeah, but Chris, it's better to compound than trying to look for the home runs, because if you are just looking for home runs, you may be missing your stop losses because you want to let the trade to breathe and all that stuff. So I don't know, like I will try to have a more aggressive taking profit level, and I will be more aggressive on the compound. Or once you reach your taking profit level, I don't know, like a stop loss order on that level, and if it comes back, I mean, you are already on profit, and if it goes, if it has continuation, that's nice. You just keep pushing your stop loss order. Um, If you, okay, Neto 105.73 is what key level? 105.73 is what key level? All right. 105.73, it's Friday's low. These are my actual charts, guys. I mean, I know this looks crowded because it has a lot of intraday key levels, the 1 minute opening range, the 5 minute opening range, the pre-market high, pre-market low, previous day high. But these are my actual charts, just a few levels here. So the blue lines are the highs and lows of the previous days, and the white lines are the key levels on the 15-minute chart. Can you see and actually they are kind of very obvious key levels on the 15-minute chart. Can you see? Very obvious levels here, very obvious levels. So I mean, I try to not overcomplicate my key levels on my chart. That's the 105.73. Uh, yes, Gabriel. Okay, so that was all for Nvidia. Later on the day, we had this retest of these previous previous days, or I mean key levels on the daily chart. Can you see? I mean, they work nicely. I mean, why work nicely? Because the highs and lows, the all highs and the all lows, that's external liquidity. So that's where the majority of liquidity it's sitting. So I mean, yes, I understand that sometimes, I mean, this key level could be very important, or this other key level could be important because it's a strong support or resistance intraday, but the actual liquidity is waiting for you on these external liquidity key levels, right? So let's go to Tesla, guys. Uh, this is the trade that the traders in the community took this morning. Uh, I didn't take it because it was too early in the morning. Too early in the morning. But this was a super nice break, displacement, and retest of this 278.88. That's the pre-market low. So once we had this retest of pre-market low, what was happening? What was happening on the indices? Well, uh, QQQ was rejecting the high of the day, or the 5 minute opening range, and SPY was rejecting this. What is this? Well, this is nothing. I mean, this was later in the day, but QQQ was rejecting the high of the day, or the 5 minute opening range. So once we went below the previous candle, that was the one that actually retested the pre-market low, we can define our stop loss on the previous day low or the top of this week, and you should be aiming first to low of the day. Low of the day was, well, no, it was just too close. But if you were aiming to 272.50, 272.50, it's the strike side number, round number. This was a 1 to 3.8 risk reward ratio trade. So this was a super nice trade. And actually, just because this 271, what's this 271? Oh, okay, so this 271, it's a key level on the daily chart. Let me open this. So this was an old high. Can you see it? This was the old high on July. Yeah, but it's on the daily chart. So can you see this was a very important key level? One touch, two touch, a lot of touches here. So these 270, yeah, this 271 was a very strong key level. So if you were aiming to this, this was a closer a closer key level, 272.42. But if you were aiming to 271, you had 1 to almost 5 risk reward ratio trade. That was a super nice play from Jack. For me, it was out of my playbook just because it was 5 minutes into the market. It was, yeah, 5 minutes into the market. So that's out of my playbook, but that was a beautiful break, displacement and retest of the pre-market low. And remember, guys, when you are looking for short positions, it's elevator down, escalator up. So you can be a bit more aggressive on your short positions just because they move way faster and more aggressive than the long positions. So that's exactly what happened here. So it was a nice break and retest of the pre-market low, and also it was a rejection of the 5 minute opening range or high of the day on QQQ. So this was a very nice trade. All right, and okay, and let me go to the chat. Gabriel, can you go over SPY? Yes. So okay, so for SPY, again, I'm not your source of of experience on SPY, but the only thing that I can see, like at hindsight, it's this break and retest of this 545 key level on the daily chart. This was actually a break of this flag, and then this break and retest of, but this is, again, this is the bottom of the ranges. This is the 1 minute and the 5 minute opening range low. However, it reacted nicely and it had a lot of continuation. So after this bounce here, this reversal here, the actual change of character occurred when we reclaimed this previous high of the day. So once we came here, I mean, you should be looking for the reclaim all of these levels, right? So these are intraday price levels. But once, for example, here, once we reclaim this previous day low, you should be expecting reactions. And what reaction we had? I mean, we didn't have too much of a reaction. Also, it was late on the day, but for me, it will be this one. It will be like my target for the day. And what we had, I mean, we had a, a pullback to the top of the 5 minute opening range. And then it went higher. How higher? Well, we reclaimed this previous week high, 551. And then it went all the way up to this 553. That this is a key level on the 15-minute chart. Let me show you here. Let me show you here. So this 53.15, it's a key level on the 15-minute chart. Can you see? I actually can take this level all the way from here. So can you see the importance of this key level? This was Monday's high, or at least the body of Monday's high, right? And yesterday we were respecting this level as the resistance, and once we broke this level, it was respecting this key level. So this 553.15 was a nice key level on the 15-minute chart. So that's the only analysis that I can give, Gabriel. I'm not really good here because I use SPY and QQQ as my context for the tech names, and I really don't know. Well, I do, but I'm not good doing the other way around. Okay, I took calls on 1023. 1023. That was a nice one. Yeah, this is what I talk about. This is the change of character. So 1023 is the reclaim and the retest of this 545 key level. So once we reclaim this 545, it was a nice ride to the top of the chart. Um, how to close early, how to take kids to school. Yeah, I know. I know that feeling. All right, guys. So that's all for me today. I'm not going to Microsoft because it has earnings uh, today. So today it's Microsoft and Meta, and tomorrow it's Apple and Amazon. So be safe, journal your trades, record your reactions and your emotions to price action, to your own execution. uh, Work on tagging your trades, what setup you are using, if you are managing your positions well, if you are sizing accordingly, or if you are sizing bigger or smaller, if you are making any mistakes, if you are having any emotions on your execution. You need to journal all of that, because that's going to be very valuable information for when you go back to your journals. All right. So thank you very much, guys. And I see you tomorrow. Bye.